Disclaimer. This video was intended for an adult audience only. Viewer discretion is advised. Anything you see in this video, do not attempt to recreate. This video was created for documentation purposes only. Our purpose is education. We are not justifying or glamorizing using substances. What we are doing is educating people on the substances that we have used and what it has done for us. Do not recreate or do not redo the substances we have done just because we talk about it.
Alright, what's going on, guys? Psychonaut Warrior back at it again. I know it's probably been like 5 months since I last uploaded, and for good reason. I had a lot of powerful trips. I didn't really know how to integrate it and come up here and talk about it, so I just thought it was best if I just didn't say anything at all. But I hit the mother load with this one, man. I hit the mother load. And when I tell you it's crazy, that's an understatement. So to give you guys some background, it started off with earlier that day. I had a person in my group hit me up because he really wanted to try DMT. So we linked up. We stopped by a good smoke shop to purchase the right vaporizer for it, because it was some vaporized DMT cartridges. And so we sat in my backyard. I tried to make him feel as comfortable as I possibly could. And then I sat back and I did some DMT, man. It was a while since I've been in there. I was a little bit scared because, you know, I've been underestimating DMT. At least that's what people in the comment section say. Like when I comment on other people's videos, they talk about how they had scary DMT experiences, and I'm like, wow, how is that possible? I never experienced that before. And then they would be like, well, wait till the next time you do DMT. It's gonna kill you. You gonna wait. So I was like, you know what? I let the comments get the best of me, and I decided to not do it. But long story short, I ended up doing it. And actually it was a pretty good experience, man. It was almost like I had this entity or this being or whatever you want to call it. It was like right in front of my face, and she was like, so you was afraid, huh? And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, you don't have to be afraid. And then like after she said that, my entire body just like melted with the fabric of the universe. And I just felt so free, man. I never felt that free before in my entire life. I was just free. I felt like that has to be how it feels when you die and you just release from the confines of life. And I was so free. And then as I started to come back, it was almost like it was putting me back together. And I was like, damn, I'm back here again. I was just free. I felt like I was in prison. I felt like life is prison, death is freedom. Which is ironic because this is how this all ties into the other end of the story. So after the other guy, the guy who came by and he wanted to try some DMT the first time, he wasn't able to get like a good breakthrough because he experienced that wall that you approach, and if you take another hit after that, it's game on. And he didn't want to test those boundaries. And for somebody to just try it for the first time, I don't blame him. So, I apologized to him. I was like, hey man, maybe next time we'll go ahead and smash that wall if that's something you want to do, and then we can get to it. We exchanged our social media platforms, and so I went on about my day. So I'm hoping that this new LSD that's about to arrive, I'm hoping that it's saying on my tracker that it's supposed to get to my house at 8 p.m. And so I'm still hoping, and I see that it's arrived, and I'm super happy because I'm like, yo, it's been like a good 3 weeks before my last time I had a powerful LSD trip, or a decent one, or decent breakthrough, I should say. So I was like, I know I'm ready. I started doing this challenge where I run 5 miles every single day, no matter what the situation is. I get out and get after it. So I knew that my body was cleansed up and I was ready. I even ran like 5 miles right before I even did this big trip that I'm about to get ready to tell you guys about. I was listening to some Alex Gray LSD videos to try to get myself mentally prepped. Nothing I could have listened to would ever prep me for what the hell I was about to get myself into. So, these little bad fuckers, these delicious, devilish little LSD fuckers, they're about 205 micrograms per hit. My dumb ass took like 8 of them. So that I did somewhere over 1,600 micrograms of LSD in one, like not just over the entire night. I did that the whole entire to try to gather my thoughts. I did about 1,640 micrograms at one go. It wasn't like you do a little bit now, I did a little bit. No, I took it all in one go because I knew that the way LSD works is that you start building a tolerance in order for me to get this extreme breakthrough that I'm looking for. Because essentially what I was trying to get was ego death, because I never experienced like complete, utter dissolution of my ego. Ever. Even in that DMT experience. It was great and I was free, but... So... I get everything set up. I have my meal prepared. My vegetable meal that I always eat when I have my LSD trips. And so I fold these fucking hits together and I pop them under my tongue. Somewhere around like 10 minutes passed by and I started to notice that they would dissolve. They dissolve pretty quick, and I swallowed them. So I quickly text one of my guys like, "Hey, is it gonna affect the trip if you make a mistake and swallow it?" He didn't respond at the time. Later on, he did, and I'll tie that in probably at the end of the story. But to progress a little bit. I'm about 15-20 minutes in the trip and I'm barely feeling anything. I'm like, this might be one of those days where I'm just not gonna get a big breakthrough. And then I'm sitting down, I'm watching the first episode of Power, season 1. And somewhere in between that, this familiar feeling that I got when I very first took LSD for the first time, I felt it again. I was like, oh shit, how could I forget about this? How could I forget about this feeling? I didn't like this feeling. And it was creeping up. And then it was like that feeling where the whole entire, like, all of reality was starting to get like crazy. And I was like, oh shoot, this is gonna be an intense trip. I'm like, all right, I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm about to break through hard. But nah, son. And then it came and it hit me with a wave that I can't even describe. The wave that I got smacked with was so hard that I looked to my wife. I said, look, this is going to be a rough one. I'm going to need you to keep me calm, have me focus on my breathing, and assure to me that everything is going to be okay. Whew. Man, it's hard for me to talk about this because I almost got like PTSD from this moment because it's like I'm almost reliving it. But yeah, so I looked to her. I said, look, I need you to reassure me, make sure everything's going to be okay, because this is going to be a rough trip. Have me focus on my breathing. And by all means, no matter how bad it gets, do not call the cops. Do not call the cops, no matter what I say. She's like, okay. And so my heart started beating like doom, 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 doom. And I'm a person that's really in tune with my body because, like I said, I do a lot of running. I'm familiar with how my heart rate is and how my breathing is associated to a heart rate. So in my mind, I'm like, my heart rate has to be at about 178 beats per minute. I'm starting to hyperventilate. So my wife is trying to talk to me. She's like, just breathe. It's going to be okay. I'm like, no. This is not going to be okay. Excuse me. And so I'm trying to breathe. Because it's hitting me so hard. I got hit with such a, it's so hard to explain. But yeah, man. And then I told her, I said, look, I'm about to die. Like, because the reason why I said that is because my extremities, meaning like your limbs, your hands, your feet, I was getting this tingling sensation in my hands and feet, like as if I was losing circulation in there. And that happens because like all the blood is trying to go closest as it can to the heart. So I'm literally going into shock as this is happening. And I'm trying to control my breathing. And the LSD is just like, it's hitting me with a wave that's just, oh my goodness. And I was like, oh man. And so I usually, when I'm having really rough trips, I have this self-talk. The self-talk that I have. And it keeps me to focus back on my breathing. What to do. Let go. So I'm like, I'm looking everywhere. The visual stimulation is just so beyond anything I've ever seen. Like, everything is dripping everywhere. It's like, I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, I'm literally like dying. My body is dissipating with the entire LSD. Like the LSD is like completely dissolving my being. I'm like, yo, I need something. It's like, please. I was like, do something. I'm losing who I am. And then I remember, with all these trips, they say, just let go. And so I try to let go. And it's so overwhelming. Like, this is beyond, like, there's no fucking when these people talk in these trips and talking about, you just gotta let go because your ego. No, fuck that. You can't. There's no letting go. There's none of that shit. When you're in that moment, and for those of you who've been there before, when you're in that moment, you fucking know. It doesn't matter. You can let go. It's too, the stimulation is too powerful. There ain't shit you can do. So you can say all the let go. I tried to let go. That shit didn't do nothing. It was fucking, I let go and it just fucking stretched my whole entire, it stretched my being in every single direction. Then I'm trying to focus on my wife's voice. Is like, everything's okay. Your heartbeat is not, your heart is not beating too fast. And then the LSD, it started sounding like, to me, she's like, your heart is, so I'm like, oh my God. So now I can't even listen to my wife give me self-coaching to keep me somewhat sane. So I'm like, so what else do I have? I'm like, okay, I have my self-talk. Breathe. I'm gonna get through this. Breathe, just breathe. Inhale. And then this is when this shit got crazy. My inner voice got hijacked by the LSD, and it's like the voice that I have to coach myself, like inhale, exhale. It was like imagine like your own inner voice, the shit that you look to get you out of your deepest, darkest moment gets fucking hijacked and shattered to pieces. So then I'm like, what the fuck else do I got? So I'm like, okay. So let me imagine like this is peace spot, and my wife, she's still trying to talk, and it's just, I can't hear. It's like, it's like, and so I developed this inside my own psyche, and this maze, and me getting torn and ripped apart as reality is melting. I'm like, all right, this got to be this one peace song. And in there, find it. And as I'm trying to say that, that's getting hijacked by LSD going. And so I find the spot. I'm like, there it is. And then it takes that spot to where I could have found peace, and it hijacks it with LSD, like that saying. That's the best way I can describe it. And it shatters that. So I have nothing. I'm just dead at this. Like, I'm nothing that you can call anything. Just completely shattered. A being that just shattered. And then, as I'm like nothing, my ego starts to try to rebuild itself and get a grasp back into reality. It starts to come back, and then the LSD will be like, nope, and shatter it again. And this happened thousands of times of me dying, me manifesting, dying, manifest, die. There was no, like, there's levels to death. I used to think that when you die, you know, that's it. You know, you're free. Like in my DMT experience, fuck that. When you die, you can even die even more when you die. I don't know if that makes any sense. Oh man, that was just, it was so overwhelming. And so as I started to come back, I'm like, so I made it back. I made it out of it. And so I come back, I'm like, whew. My wife, she's looking at me because I could see the panic in her face because she thought I was about to die. I look in her face. I'm like, yo, I made it back. I can't believe I made it back. I was like, yo, I was gone. She's like, yeah, you was. And then, nope, that LSD came back and hijacked that moment. It crumbled everything, crumbled my wife's face. The reality just, and I was like, oh no, it's happening again. And this happened multiple times. I would come back and be like, whew, I made it back. Nope. This, I don't want to get too redundant in the video, but I feel like I just had to explain that. So yeah, man, like, psychedelics, gotta tell you guys, this shit it's not a game. From those of you who think this shit is a game, like I thought it was a game, coming in here not respecting these psychedelics like that, these plant medicines or whatever you want to call them, this shit put me in my place. I respect them now. And it's like I said, looking back at it now, was it fun? Hell yeah, that shit was fun. Would I do it again? Hell yeah, I would do it again. Would I want to do it again? Fuck no, I wouldn't want to do that shit again. So if that makes sense, then it makes sense. Man, y'all be careful out there, man. Don't be no super psychonaut warrior like I am, man. I go deep. I don't. Here's the thing, man. I know I'm kind of rambling for like 20 minutes in the video, but I don't even care if you want to be here and listen. You're here. If not, you probably already clicked off the video. Given all that, like I said, I would definitely do that again. The reason why is because I remember the first time I did LSD, it was a lot like how that entire experience was. And then when I came back that second time, well, let me rephrase that. So the first time I did LSD was similar to that, but it was no way near that magnitude. So, but the second time I did LSD, it was similar to how my first experience was, but I had more of not control, but I knew what to expect. Like I was in there, I could explore the realms of it. So that's why I said I would do it again. So that way, when I get to that point, I can explore it. Because at that point, I was at this certain point where it was so overwhelming that I was like, okay, well, I can't fight it. I can't give into it. So let's see what I can do with it. And I couldn't do nothing with it because it was so powerful. So now, given that I have that experience, and if I go back there again, I don't know when. I can't tell y'all the next time I'm going back there again because what it took for me to get there. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I don't care if he raped every last one of my children, killed my family, called me all the kind of worst racial slurs that you can ever. I would not wish that on anybody. Not even him or her or whoever. That's how bad it was. Like, that's literally how bad that was. But I am willing to go back and do that again to see where I can explore. Because in there, if you can make it through hell, and if you can get in there, that this was the little nugget that I was given. Because LSD gives you little nuggets here and there. The nugget I was given is that in that spot, there's a realm of consciousness that is unlimited, untapped potential. Unlimited in that space. But you got to go to hell to get there. So that's the price. Like, would you be willing to go through hell, die 1,000 times to be able to touch unlimited potential of consciousness? It sounds like, hey, hell yeah, I'd do that. Fuck that. But because I went through it, hell yeah, I would do that shit. I am going to do that if I have enough life on this planet. I'm damn sure going to do that shit again. But I don't feel like my brain is in a worse state than it was before. It actually feels better. I have this newfound appreciation over life that I never had before. Like, I was laying down. My father looked at me. He was like, somebody must have told you some good news. Why are you smiling so much? And I'm just like thinking like, Dad, you have no idea what I experienced and made it out alive. And I get to tell the world what I experienced. That's a good feeling. Good feeling. I damn sure. Yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I feel so good, like so clear, so focused. I don't know, man. But yeah, man, if you guys got any more questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the chat. If you're interested in joining the group, it's on Facebook. Search it. It's called Magical World of Mushrooms. I'd love to have you in there. Become part of the team. Share some of your psychedelic trips or inquiries. I was very inquisitive when I first jumped on the scene. Here I am now. Psychonaut warrior, not afraid. But yeah, man. I have a newfound appreciation of life after dying 1,000 times. And that's it. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you feel you want to do that. You see how my uploading schedule is. I might upload tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. As soon as I have something important, I will report on it. But man, until next time, man, I'm out. Peace.